Morning, guys. Good morning, Miss Love. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Lisa. Great morning, Miss Margaret. Good morning. Hope you guys are ready to get this day started. It's going to be the most amazing day. It's going to be a good day. Be safe, Margaret. Have a good trip. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. My name is Yamitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? And I hope you guys are ready to get your day started. I know I am. Hope you enjoyed the show yesterday. Yesterday we talked about the guilt of living. I hope you've enjoyed the show all this week. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel so they can subscribe and binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there, or they can listen to the podcast. Anywhere podcasts are found. The podcast is called the Live Past Crazy Show. Let me put it in here so that you can, and it's, again, whether it doesn't matter if you have an Android or Apple, because we're on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. We're everywhere podcasts are found. So let me put that there for you. I hope you're ready to get this day started. It's also on Audible. Go, JoJo. It's your birthday. I just saw that. So that's great. Thank you, Audible. We appreciate you. So let me grab that link because why not? So please make sure you share the show. Let me get back over to Facebook, and there you go. So this morning, y'all, let's talk about. This morning, I want to talk about. Well, there was two things I want to talk about, and I couldn't decide, so we're going to talk about both of them, right? And we're going to talk about receiving, and we're going to talk about being lonely, being alone. Not lonely, because I don't want to confuse the two. There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Good morning, Tammy. There's a difference between the two. So I want to talk about receiving, okay? And let's see how far we get with that. Y'all, sometimes, listen, not sometimes, all the time, I may have the topic or the thought, but all the things that come with it come to me as we go. Good morning, Joshua. So on this great day, let's talk about receiving. And I want us to, and this is the thing I want us to understand. And this is why this was important this morning. Thank you, Joshua. At all times, we are receiving things. At all times, you are a receiver. In all ways, you are a receiver, right? You are receiving things, you accept them, you allow them into your space, whether it is a thought, mindset, whatever it is, you receive things all the time. You are a receiver. Now, what you receive becomes the problem. That's where we need to step in. So I want us to know, and this is going to go both ways. You are the receiver, so you can receive all of your abundance. You can receive all of your blessings. You can receive all the things. You can also receive the negativity. You can receive the stress. You can receive whatever that is off of your path of least resistance. You can receive all of those things as well. But at all times, friend, we are receiving something, whether it is a mindset, whether it is a thought, an idea, love, non-love, rejection, stress, we are receivers. Now that we know that we are receiving things all day long, are we even mindful of what we're receiving? So I want you to look at it is that you're a magnet. You are attracting things all day long, all day, every day, right? You are attracting things. And we need to focus on what it is that we are attracting. Maybe this needs to be a square up exercise to look at what is it that we are attracting. So get your piece of paper, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. What am I attracting in each of these areas? What am I receiving in each of these areas? And then start to ask questions. So if I'm a receiver of all things, of everything good and bad, can we at any moment decide what we are receiving? Do we even question it? Do we only question it when we get mad, though? And do we question what we give ourselves? What are we receiving from ourselves? Like when you woke up this morning and you looked in your mirror, what did you allow yourself to receive from you this morning? When you looked in the mirror, did you say, oh my God, these bags under your eyes are killing me? So you receive negativity from yourself. Did you wake up this morning and you say, oh my God, my back, my head, my body? Did you instantly go to, I don't have, did you instantly go to what all the negative is? And then that's what you're receiving from yourself today. What are we receiving? Think about it this way. And I know we've talked about this and y'all know how I feel about TV and commercials. What commercial told you that you needed to receive a medicine today? This morning. You watched the commercial, and I'm sure you can think of 1,000 medications that you've seen on TV that they told you you needed to receive when this problem happened. The TV prepped you for a problem that says this problem is going to come. And I want you to remember that when it comes, this is the medicine you're going to need. And you receive that. So your body goes looking for something that you say, you know what, let me store that away because I may need that. Your body is going to go look for that thing that says it needs that medicine. Your mind is a powerful thing. So as we begin, if we're receivers, right, let's think about who gives us these things for us to receive. Look at ourselves, our careers, our family, our relationships. My career was, I was receiving stress. I was receiving a whole lot of anxiety, stress, depression, anger, frustration. I was receiving all of that. I allowed it into my space. And it wasn't until I was alone. Remember, I wanted to do 2 thoughts today. It wasn't until I was alone and was allowed my thoughts to come that I understood that if I am the receptive of this, right, that means I also have the opportunity to reject it. Now, if we don't want to be alone, and I'm almost certain this is some biggest fears. We don't want to be lonely. We don't be alone. We don't want to be alone. We want someone to be with us on this journey. We want somebody in our lives. We want somebody to be our friend. We want somebody to be our mate. We want somebody to be, our best friend, our confidant. We want that, right? But if we do not take the time to be alone to understand what we're receiving, then we will never recognize what it is that we truly need. And when we're alone, We are left to deal with our own thoughts, preconceived notions, and ideas, and perhaps the reality that we brought a lot of the receiving of the things, we brought them to our doorsteps ourselves. And I can't possibly admit that, because then it would mean I participated in some of this crazy. Then it would mean that if I start to clear up the things that I received, you ever get a gift you didn't want and you re-gift it to somebody else? Or you never used it? Right, Joshua. At what point are we going to take some time to ourselves to see what is it that I'm receiving? Why is it important for me to receive these things and not be afraid of ourselves? I am convinced that now, so we talked about confusion and that's what causes anxiety and depression, is that we're simply confused about our next thought, because we try to have a negative and a positive thought live in the same space, and you can't hold the both of them together. One of them has to be dominant. You're either going to be negative or you're going to be positive, and whichever thought is the greatest is the one that's going to win. And anxiety and depression and stress comes in when you're trying to hold two opposing thoughts at the same time and they're fighting, and you don't know who to listen to. Now you're confused about which way to go. And insert a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, because whatever decision you decide to make, it doesn't stand, because one has got to win. Right, Joshua? The same thing with receiving. We are always receiving every single second of the day. You're receiving information I'm giving you, something that makes you go, or you're receiving information when you read something, when you listen to the news, when you hear people talk. Every second of the day you're receiving. You are always in a receiving mode. The only time that we're not in a receiving mode is when somebody questions our limitations, when we want to honor them, because now you're mad because you're trying to tell me I don't have to live in lack, but I've been living in it for so long. How dare you question me living less than? Who are you to tell me how to live my life? And the key to receiving more of what you want is to be alone. But some of us associate being alone with being lonely, and they're two totally different things. Being lonely means there's nobody there to support you that you can call, when oftentimes, I don't know if that's all the way true. You may have people you may not want to call, but they're available. When you're alone, that means you now have the opportunity to think what you need to think, to get clear on what you need to do, so you can find your path of least resistance. Being alone and being lonely are two different things. And maybe you need to be alone so that you can figure out what it is that you're receiving. Why are you receiving this thing? Who is the giver in this instance? So now look at it both ways. If I'm a receiver, that means the person beside me is a receiver, and I'm the giver. At all times, we're doing both. So what are you giving someone that they're receiving, and what are they giving you that you're receiving? Thank you, Laura. Absolutely. Lonely is a feeling. And I can be lonely in the biggest crowd. I can be lonely in the biggest crowd because you don't associate with anybody. They're not having a conversation that you're having, or there's no connection for you. So you could be lonely inside of your family with your best friend. You're just there taking up space. But when you get alone, we can pay attention to more of, we have the opportunity to look to see what are we receiving. And why is this such a big deal? Well, it's a big, right. Absolutely, Laura. Absolutely. I love my quiet time. Right. When you don't know yourself. That's why if you don't understand you, Nobody can love you enough to make you feel better. Nobody's going to be able to give you that piece that you're missing, because you got to give it to yourself first. All right? You got to give it to yourself first. You're not going to be able to say, oh, I love my spouse, or I love my friends, I love my career. Because what you're seeking is confidence and validation. You're seeking security, confidence, and validation. Let's add validation in there. You're seeking those three things when you have to give them to you. You can't give them. My education couldn't give that to me. My spouse couldn't give that to me. I had to give it to myself first. Now that I've given it to myself, now I don't have to go searching for that thing. If you don't know what it is that you want, you can't hold people to an expectation that you don't understand yourself. Oh, I want this, and it could be the very thing that you read in a book. You seen somebody else. Oh, I want that, and when you get it, it doesn't fit you because it wasn't yours. It's not what you want. It's not what you need. It's not what feeds your soul, which is why sometimes the path of least resistance, you've got to figure out what it is that you want. And if it's difficult now, it's because you're on somebody else's pathway, right? Yes, Joshua. Absolutely. There are a whole lot of different types of love. And if you don't understand that, and it's going to take you being alone and understanding you're not lonely, like Laura reminded us, lonely is a feeling. Girl, Tammy, come on, A to the man. I had to learn that because I went out on a date and somebody said, what do you like to do? And my answer was, I don't know. I didn't know me. So I had to learn to receive all of those things for myself. So if we're always receivers, and it means we've got to be, somebody's giving it to us, and we're also giving it back to them. What are we receiving from other people? And we need to evaluate that. And that's going to come when you have that alone time to hear your thoughts. If you do not take the opportunity to do that, what will happen is that path of least resistance will be so difficult. Living someone else's version of relationship, friendship, career, period. It will become more difficult. It will become hard. Absolutely, Tammy. When I understood that, life got so much easier. When I understood how to love Judge all of me, truly, right? Without judgment, without apprehension, without any stigmas, without, oh, well, Judge, you could change this. No. All of it. Relationships got easier. Career got easier. Friendships got easier because now I have a standard that I can hold myself to as well as others. That's the frustrating part. We're telling people, I want to live on this standard. Well, wouldn't no man treat me that way? And wouldn't no, but you're not even holding yourself to that standard. And you're mad when somebody else comes in and they don't live up to the standard that you can't even live up to. You don't even hold yourself accountable. And so you want to hold them accountable, right? And they know that you're not holding yourself accountable. That's why they keep doing what they do. Right, Laura? Our own validation. Honey, Tammy been to my house. There's flowers in every room. We buy all the flowers. We buy all the things. And so we got to learn that there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. And in that time, let's think about what are we receiving from people. You are also giving. What are you giving them and what are you receiving? And please do your square up exercise. Mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. What are you receiving? Who is the giver in each of those instances? Are you giving this stress to yourself or someone else giving it to you? How are you receiving? Who are you receiving it from? And then it could be that people are trying to give you stuff that is beneficial for you and you're not a good receiver. You need to learn to receive well. I wasn't a good receiver for a minute. Meaning if somebody gave me a compliment, I could not accept it. Girl, no. Receive well. If I'm going to be a receiver, receive well. Some of us have a difficult time, me, receiving abundance and blessings above what you already have, because you don't want to be seen as you don't want to be seen as arrogant, better than, because you're receiving more than. And we talked about that yesterday. It's not your fault that they have the same gifts that you have and they chose not to open their gifts. And that comes with the guilt of living. If you missed yesterday's show, go back and watch it. The guilt of living abundantly, of doing things different and people not understanding. That can make you feel lonely, but you're really not. You're just taking time to be alone to assess where you are, so that you know when things come to receive, it comes time for you to receive something. Because people can be giving you wise words all day, but until you're ready to receive them, you can't hear them. You will honor your limitations. But I can't do that. It's so hard. I don't understand. It's too difficult. It couldn't possibly be me. I can't be the changer. I can't be the torchbearer in my family. I can't be the first millionaire. Jojo, it's just too hard because you don't understand. You're stronger than me. No, I'm not. And stop putting yourself down. When you're ready to receive the wise words from your mama, daddy, whomever, a book, the news, whoever, when you're ready to receive the wise words, they make themselves available to you. Have you ever prayed and said, Lord, I'm waiting on the answer, and the answer didn't come? And you assume, well, maybe that was just Jesus telling me I need to sit still. Maybe you didn't want to hear the answer. Maybe you were so busy honoring your limitations that it never occurred to you that change was the answer. So you couldn't receive the blessing, the answer to your prayer. You couldn't receive all of that because it said, change this first. And because it said change, you said, oh no, it couldn't possibly be that. And you didn't receive it. And you kept waiting. And you felt like you were alone. And you felt like you were lonely. And you had this entire universe supporting you in all that you needed to do. So on this most amazing morning, I didn't have a quote for today. I will use this one right here. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And that is by William Ernest Henley. What are you receiving today? Because if you're the master of your fate, the captain of your soul, what direction are you going in? Are you on the path of least resistance? That means you've got to be alone. You've got to be quiet to listen to what it is that you need from you, because you desperately need something from yourself. You may not understand what it is. You may not understand why you need it, but you will never get that answer if you're not quiet enough to listen to it, to hear the words. Period. That is a requirement. There are 5 keys. If you guys have never taken my 5 keys to live past crazy, number 1 is to be quiet. Right? Number 1 is to be quiet. And it's in the quietness that you learn to receive the answer from the Creator. I call God the Creator because while I think we can't possibly limit him to 3 letters, he created the entire universe. So why would I not call him the Creator, the one the universe, because he is all those things wrapped up into one. So as you look today to see what you're receiving, as you do the square up exercise, grab your copy of the Fearless Morning Show notebook where you can take your own notes. There's a space for the thought of the day, the quote of the day, and your own takeaways. I am working on a printed copy, so if you'd like to have an actual print copy instead of a digital copy, you can do that as well. The 2020 notebook is done, where my own personal notes. If you'd like a copy of that, let me know, and I will send you the invoice for that. But those are my personal thoughts for the Fearless Morning Show, where I have had the quote and the thought of the day put together. So on this most amazing day, I want you to know that you are a receiver at all times. Now, what you receive is on you, friend. That's on you. What you receive is on you. I want you to be mindful of that today, right? When somebody makes you angry today, know that you're the one receiving that. If you don't want to receive it, don't get angry, don't get upset. It's that simple. When something or a situation is getting ready to stress you out, and I have done this, I don't receive that. I just refuse. I said, you know what? I'm not going to receive that today. Let me choose this thought. And this is the thought that I choose. So on this most amazing day, be mindful of what you're receiving today. You are receiving every second of the day. If this has not helped you at all, honey, leave it for somebody else who needs it. If it has helped and you have received it, then go be alone today. Do that square up exercise mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and find out what it is that you're receiving and why and who gave it to you. Take some time to be alone. Go have lunch with yourself today. If you can't go have lunch, go sit down on your front porch with your little, and honey, write it on the back of a bill. This is simply a little scrap piece of paper. Write it on the back of something. What am I receiving today? Like, what am I receiving? Look at the food. What food are you receiving inside of your body today? Is it nourishment to your mind, body, spirit? What are you receiving today? The Creator gives us more than enough of things that we need to receive. Now, if we choose the net, again, some people mean to tribulate every day. That's the part they want to stick to, is the tribulation part. And there's nothing you can do for that. But you can concentrate. You're most welcome, Laura. You can concentrate for yourself. What are you receiving today? Okay? So make sure you grab a copy of the Fearless Morning Show notebook. I posted a link there. Don't forget the Sister Rise Retreat. It's coming up in October. Tickets prices go up on my birthday, which is June 29th. So we're a few days out, a couple of weeks out from my birthday. If you have questions about Sister Rise, if it's the right place for you, please send me a message and I'll be more than glad to answer all of your questions. For anything else JoJo related, you can check this out right here. For books, movies, and all the things, you can go there. Some classes, you can go there as well. There are payment plans for Sister Rise Retreat if you should need those as well. So guys, I hope you have the most amazing day today. I want you to be peaceful, period. I want you to know that you at all times are receiving something, good or bad. You are receiving it. Pay attention to, from this second on, what are you receiving? From the aggravation to the frustration to the food to the abundance, what are you receiving? If you look for negativity today, you will receive it. If you look for positivity today, you will receive it. If you look for greatness, God on display, you will see God today. You will see Him in absolutely everything that you do. From the penny you pick up on the street, to the person you meet, honey, to the lady that stopped to ask you a question that just wants to have a conversation. You can see Him in all things today, if you choose to. So on this most amazing day, please make sure you share the show, because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel where they can subscribe and binge watch the Fearless Morning Show. It costs nothing to subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. I don't even think I have 100 subscribers. So you guys go on over there and subscribe to, let me get the link for you so that you can have that. Subscribe to the Fearless Morning Show over there. So that you guys, and that would help me out because it costs absolutely nothing for that. Let's see, there we go. Let's see if that's it. And the podcast, everywhere podcasts are found. Let's see, hold on, y'all. There we go. There we go. I had to make sure I was looking. I can't see all the windows up here. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. So I would greatly appreciate that. And of course, the Live Past Crazy Show, which is the podcast. We're on Audible. We're on all the things. So make sure that you subscribe to that as well. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that because that costs absolutely nothing for you to take time to do that. And this is the link for the podcast. That's the YouTube link. Again, we're on Pandora, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. We're everywhere podcasts are found. If you simply put in the Live Past Crazy Show, you will find it. Okay. I hope you guys have the most amazing day ever. Thank you, Shay. I greatly appreciate you for watching. Appreciate you hanging out with me today. Receive well today. Receive well today. And I will see you guys here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.